I met John Bolton once at a fundraiser for my old boss, Congressman Dana Rohrabacher. You may know him by what Kevin McCarthy once called him, and that's Putin's favorite congressman. Dana and John were part of the old guard of Reagan libertarians. Both worked for Reagan in the White House. Now, before Reagan, there was Barry Goldwater, and that's the cloth that these two men were built under. Neither of them were evangelicals. Dana wouldn't even go to a prayer breakfast because of the mixing of religion and politics. But over the years, both of these men were influenced by a number of factors that changed them. One ultimately ended up selling out to Trump, the other didn't. Well, at least in the end. One change factor was Reagan's approach to the Cold War, and that's peace through strength, something that Pete Hegseth likes to look cool saying. The next was at least a tolerance of evangelicals thanks to Reagan's courting of them, largely why he did so much better than Goldwater. And then immigration. Libertarians aren't historically anti-immigrant, quite the opposite. But this is where race comes heavily into play. Now, in regards to these men going in two different directions, as far as I could see, the thing that really changed course for Dana was his relationship with Vladimir Putin. Dana was a Cold War warrior. He was in Afghanistan with the Mujahideen fighting the Russians. But he also developed a relationship with Putin over the years. If you go to the Bar Irish Times in DC, you'll see Dana's picture on the wall because that's where he arm wrestled Vladimir Putin and lost. Now, fast forward to 2012 or so, and Dana becomes the chairman of the subcommittee on European and Asian relations, subcommittee in the Foreign Relations Committee. This took him to Eastern Europe quite a bit and rekindled his relationship with Putin. He would come back and introduce me to Russian music in the car and tell me how much different it is there, like the fact that they now allow Christianity. He would go there under the guise of counterterrorism cooperation. I don't know for sure, but it seemed like a bit more than that. Now, fast forward to 2016 and Trump. Bolton generally stays the Reagan hawk that he is. Dana, initially hating Trump, telling me all the time how cruel he was, had shifted to a post-Cold War friendly Russian relationship, similar to that of Obama, actually. This is where I think Dana started to get friendly with Trump. I even heard a rumor that a former colleague of mine in that office was involved in the Trump Tower meeting. Now, clearly, both ended up supporting Trump initially. Bolton, however, generally stuck to his hawkish ways. Dana walked straight into Trumpism and was even in the crowd on January 6th. I bring this up, and I'm going to start telling a lot more stories like it, to give you some more insight into what happened in the Republican Party. This happens to be a libertarian tale, but similar things happened to other factions of the party. Most drifted into Trumpism either by choice or because they're opportunists, and the rest ended up on Trump's radar, and now John Bolton's been indicted.